All right, welcome everyone to Friday Night Forex and Chill. Tonight is Friday, October the 25th, and our guest this evening is a fantastic trader. His name is Gabe Johns, and he is a market structure trader and also studied as a private student under Stevenson Lindor. So he's got some real chops. He hasn't learned from someone who learned from someone who learned from someone. He learned from the GOAT himself. And he's going to be showing us some wonderful things this evening. So Gigi, please take it away.
All right, everybody. Again, we got Gabe Johns. He is only 23 years old, guys. Here's another night. We're bringing you young people. A couple weeks ago, we had a 19-year-old girl who's already trading full-time. Gabe is 23. He's been trading 2 years. But before I bring him on, I'm going to just do some housekeeping. If you want to catch the replay of this video tomorrow night, let me go and share my new screen. All right, right here on YouTube, Trade Forex with Guinevere, you can catch all of our replays. And my featured replay right now is Terrell. Y'all have heard me talk about him a lot. He's also one of Gabe's trading partners. Follow us here on YouTube so you can catch the replay. You can follow me here on Facebook, ForexNChill right here. And we have a boot camp coming up with me and Terrell. It will be under events. Terrell and I are going to be teaching market structure. And also, I just want to give you guys a glance into our Discord group. For those people who are new here and you don't know about market structure, let me tell you, these are some people who recently came to my team. Matt and his wife are on here tonight. He had a $2,000 day, guys. He just started trading market structure not too long ago. We have Miss Susie. She had a $1,400 day last week. She got a $470 day today. And y'all, these are just, she had a $769 day a couple days ago. And that's what market structure can do for you. So that's why we focus on market structure. Gabe, that's getting ready to come up, he's got a special treat for you. He's going to tell you how he learned to trade. Okay, everybody mute out for me, please. We are recording. Please stay muted. So Gabe's going to jump on. He's going to tell you about his trading career and how he came to trade one single thing that he's focusing on perfecting and learning. And he's going to show us what he does on the chart. So I'm going to stop sharing. And Gabe, just introduce yourself and take it over. The show is all yours. Do whatever you need to do.
All right, awesome. Can everyone hear me?
Yeah, speak just a little louder.
Okay. Can everyone hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Let me know if I need to speak up or anything like that. So I am going to share my screen. Can everyone see my screen here?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you, Grant and Gigi, for the awesome introduction. Like I said, I'm Gabe Johns. I'm 23. I am a personal student under Stevenson Lindor. Basically, I've been trading officially for about 2 years now. And my main focus has been practically just focusing on cryptocurrencies and Bitcoin specifically. And I'll go ahead and go through, what I've learned from that and what I continue to learn too. And this pair is, if anyone's ever traded any exotic pairs in Forex trading, like, USD-ZAR or anything like that, it was super fast moving pairs. Bitcoin is like trading an exotic pair for Forex currencies. And this pair is super fun. It's not as scary as everyone thinks. Being a market structure trader, it's actually super simple. A lot of traders make things more difficult and make it sound like it's a big scientific theory. Really, it's not. Just looking at the chart and seeing how price action is reacting to different points in the market. Okay, let me get started here. So go ahead and remove all my drawing tools here. So whenever I start marking up Bitcoin, it's literally the same thing I do for marking up any chart I do. So whether it's trading gold, whether you're trading, the dollar currencies, just any chart in general, I mark up cryptocurrencies the same exact way. I start from the monthly and just work my way down. I'm going to stop right here for a second and just have you guys look at this. So obviously you can see there's not much data on Bitcoin because it's only been around for about 10 years or so. So there's, on the monthly, of course, there's not much data as we can see here, but this last run up on 2017 was when really people started to really look at Bitcoin as a legitimate asset, new asset class to see, why is it, Bitcoin's digital gold, they want to see, okay, why is this so intriguing to everybody? What about Bitcoin is it that makes it special and unique in its own respect? So basically, I start from the monthly chart here, and of course, I just go ahead and start marking up what I see here. So obviously, you can see here you've got this flag or this downtrend going on. Start down. Flip over to the weekly. Normally, I just start mark up on the weekly because, of course, the monthly is not much to go off of. It's a pretty big time frame, but I'll go back to the monthly here in a bit and explain certain things of where I see Bitcoin going right now. Okay, so basically, I just kind of look at the chart here and I just kind of mark up, every little thing I see here. I'll switch to the daily now. Not really much to it. So obviously we can see right here, Bitcoin had this huge run up, and now we're kind of forming this big consolidation flag. Now, those of you who don't trade Bitcoin haven't been paying attention to this chart. This thing has been consolidating for the past several months here after this huge run up from the bottom here at 3K. And I'll go back to the monthly here. And this finally, for the past, 4 or 5 months, finally has made a big move off of this weekly 21 EMA. Bitcoin tends to like to play off this weekly 21 EMA, and it's really kind of a good signal to see when the next uptrend or next bull run might be continuing. So I'll go ahead and keep going back down here to daily, but we've been consolidating this flag for the longest time after having this huge run up, and finally had this. Honestly, I want to call this like a historical breakout, because these green candles, I haven't seen these, big green candles. Honestly, even when for Bitcoin's history, when it ran up in 2017, I mean, we haven't. These couple of green candles here have been pretty big, but the price action we're seeing right now in the last couple of days has just been phenomenal. I don't really know what to say, but this big breakout, if this is going to be legitimate, I'm waiting for this daily close to happen, because with Bitcoin, I don't trade anything off of the smaller time frames. I'll look at them, but I found that it's too easy to get wrecked and faked out unless you trade off of the daily chart. So I'll mainly look at the weekly and the monthly, and then execute off the daily. So 4 hour, I'll look at that to when I get a tighter entry, but honestly, it's not really much to mark up here. However, there is a couple scenarios where, as I'm going through this, where I think Bitcoin could go. Of course, what I think is something different than what the market does, and basically we just react to what the market says. So even though Bitcoin is making some massive moves here on the chart, we could see one of these scenarios play out where Bitcoin could end up playing out this big consolidation flag, and it can come up here, maybe hit this trend line again, and then come crashing down here. Yeah, maybe I don't think necessarily this low, but anything's possible. Maybe make a new low down here. If it doesn't tag the bottom here and double bottom and go up, might come down here, maybe hit like sub $1,000, $800, and then go up. I don't see that happening, but anything's possible. Okay, let's see. So that's just something to keep in mind that a lot of people may not realize. But for Bitcoin, everyone says, oh, okay, this asset, this next bull run is going to get up to 360K and big numbers like that. Honestly, price can come up there, and price can do anything it wants to, especially with this asset. It can move thousands of dollars you know, in a few hours like we've seen the last couple days. Let me go back to the daily here. But what's interesting about what Bitcoin has recently done with this huge price action, this huge bullish move right now, is if you pull up your Fibonacci retracement and you go to the higher time frames here, let me just go weekly here, just make it easier. So you see this run up happen to pull back. So this whole year it's been consolidating for the longest time, but beginning, I think this was February, almost March or April and May. I guess April and May is when this finally started to really get out of this massive downtrend. It was in there for just consolidating for like the past year and a half or however long it was. And it finally started to break up here. But this shot up for so long, you know, that there wasn't really any pullback. And I'll go through here, and if you take the bottom of this pump here and you Fibonacci retrace at the top, look where we landed, right off the 61.8 sweet spot. I think it's kind of funny how just as we hit this spot area, this spot here, right there at that key fib level, right, it just blasted off. Yeah, I just some phenomenal price action right there, just getting some huge bullish moves. But before we get into that, I know I'm kind of jumping around here. Sorry if I'm not making sense. Please interrupt me if you guys had any questions about anything as I'm going through this. Anyways, I'll go back here. So what we see here is interesting is basically I'll go through here and also more levels and flags and different things like that. But what I also do is I'm going through the smaller time frames here, going from the monthly down to the daily, and I'll draw up my key zones. So I know, okay, here's a key zone from where we got price action off of here. And I know that the key level up here, and I'll just throw in a few of these key levels here. And really, way to just throw some trend lines on here and some key support and resistance levels there, and that's pretty much it. Boom, your chart's marked up, nothing's confusing and all that. And I do have some key EMAs here. I do mainly for this chart, I keep the 21 EMA and 21 EMA, the 50 EMA, 200 EMA. So I can see if there's any golden crosses or things like that. So that's pretty much the only EMAs I use is the 250 and the 21 for Bitcoin. So down to the daily here. This is so basically, you know, anything here is possible for Bitcoin, of course, as I know and have been taught by Stevenson and most traders also who go off market structure. Clearly, we have this breakout of this big flag here on the daily, and now people say, "Oh, okay, you know, buy the breakout." Yeah, the breakout right here. You know, I would have bought that, but however, this shot up pretty quick. So, me personally, I was waiting for all this price action to get back above these levels right here on these EMAs, because otherwise I would just be buying a downtrend. And so even though, as you can see here, we were kind of making this flag here or the 6 flat flag, I could have, you know, or look for a trade once big price started to break out through here. But I'm a long-term trader, swing trader here, so I know that at some point, you know, prices get retraced and I'll get in there, or you know, there's going to be a pullback confirming this impulse. I'm looking for something to come down like here and to get back to this level. Should have got a little zone here. My bad. I have to apologize. I'm pretty rusty. I haven't been on a Zoom call in such a long time. Okay.
Are you doing great?
Okay. Just let me know if I'm not making sense. I'm trying to yeah, make sense for you guys.
Yeah, we do have a few questions. You just let Grant know when, and he'll stop and read the questions out to you. But I have a quick question. Do you go to any websites and read up on cryptocurrency about what the so-called experts are saying or anything? Or do you just do straight up market structure?
So basically, you know, of course you can, you know, show me the charts, I'll tell you the news, kind of thing. Like, just read price action, you can pretty much tell what news events affect Bitcoin. What I do though is anything like your normal, I call it the normal mainstream media for Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies is CoinDesk.com and CoinTelegraph.com. Those will kind of tell you your normal cryptocurrency updates. You know what different countries are doing to get involved with cryptocurrencies, or you know what's going on with Bitcoin. If there's a new, you know, update to the blockchain, you know, anything, or you know, any altcoins like Ethereum or Litecoin are doing something cool, any of these new projects. So that's kind of what I use for like normal websites. There is a couple of traders that I do follow on YouTube just to get different ideas. And those two guys are Chico Crypto, and he focuses on mainly you know, Bitcoin and its price action and other altcoins. He gives you just daily updates on what's going on for the industry or what's going on in the markets for that. And then I also follow Alessio Brastani. He's been trading Forex, you know, your normal fiat currencies and silver and cryptocurrencies the past several years. And I like him a lot because he gives that kind of an unbiased opinion of, you know, the bullish outcome, the bearish outcome, basically anything that can happen, and where he sees the market going. And then there's one more person I do follow, and that's Richard Hart. I'm not sure if any of you guys have heard of him. That guy is pretty awesome, and I call him, he's a Bitcoin OG. And if anyone knows what Bitcoin OG is in the space, it's called the original gangsters. These guys were involved in cryptocurrencies back when Bitcoin was like at 58 cents, you know, $100, back before anybody really heard of Bitcoin and everything was going there. So yeah, they were here when Bitcoin was like a little blip on the radar, might say. So those are the pretty much the news sources I go and pay attention to and follow just for updates, just so I can kind of go, okay, here's where I see the charts going, but these guys make a good point, meaning like, you know, like recently this price action here, if everyone says the news doesn't affect the markets, oh, it definitely does, because all this main pump was due to China finally unbanning Bitcoin, you might say again, and saying that they're going to get involved in blockchain a lot again. And so China actually controls like 65% of Bitcoin's hashing power. So these hashing power is kind of what these Bitcoin miners go. So they mine these algorithms and these coins for Bitcoin. And they really, I guess, they sell off their Bitcoin to the network, and I guess people buy up Bitcoin and things like that. I'm not too, me personally, I'm not too still learning more about that. But my brother actually, he knows all about the inner workings of cryptocurrencies and things like that. He's actually working on his own book, which he's almost done with, on, you know, how to buy and store Bitcoin and all that kind of things too, which if anyone's interested in, you guys can DM me later about. But anyways, yeah, so that's Bitcoin. This is a Bitcoin spot chart. And so there's different things, different charts I use when I'm charting Bitcoin as well. It's not just the Bitcoin spot chart itself. And that is right here. That's just the CME chart. So if anyone sort of CMEs, this is the Crimex, so they're super big in the stock market. CME group, you'll see them like in Forex Factory. They'll talk about, you know, gold features and things like that. And this is, I might say, one of the biggest, another trading platform people trade Bitcoin off of. And a lot of the big institutional investors sometimes will trade CMEs. CMEs got involved back at the top of Bitcoin's previous highest of the highs it's ever had, in around 20,000. And some people say, of course, when CMEs launched, this led to this massive downtrend that we were in all of 2018 pretty much. And so it wasn't until recently that we finally had a nice pump up here because of different news events like Tether Tether is a like a USDT stable coin where people can basically transfer the money out of Bitcoin if they're trading it into Tether. So that way its price doesn't move. It's based on the dollar. It's pegged to the dollar. So of course the dollar stays pretty much around 99, 100 cents, around that area. So people can go in and out of that. And stable coins for cryptocurrencies, in my opinion, they take away what cryptocurrencies were here and created for. That was a decentralized platform to practically be your own bank. So one of the reasons why I personally stopped trading all the Forex pairs is because, all the craziness and inflation and moves and problems that all the fiat currencies are having. And the dollar's having issues, it's across the world. I mean, the U.S. economy is strong. That's why the dollars are up there. But really, it's not backed by anything. It's just kind of floundering, and of course, having problems with having to cut rates and all that stuff too. But even New Zealand dollar, Australian dollar, practically the whole world's having monetary and financial problems. And so Bitcoin is one solution, in my opinion. That's not only I think is the way of the future, but it's going to be it's almost here in like everyday life. You can pretty much do a lot of stuff with Bitcoin. You have whenever people have currency problems like Venezuela, the only thing they can do to buy normal day-to-day necessities is like they use Bitcoin to buy diapers and things like that because their dollars is having issues. So Bitcoin is one of those ways to get around the hardships of that. So it's only the beginning. I think Germany and Japan actually have Bitcoin as like you would their national currency, like the yen and the euro. So it's kind of interesting that these two countries, which is pretty huge news, that they can actually use Bitcoin just like you would normal fiat currency, like you would the dollar. So we'll see if the U.S. might hop on board. But the fact that China and they're going to get on board too led to this pump. And so it's only a matter of time for all the trade wars, and I call them the hashing wars that might start. And we can really see Bitcoin start hitting these higher highs, and we can see 100K. You could see who knows after 20,000 is broken, because that was the last high of this pair. But yeah, this pair has been evolving. This market's been evolving super big. One of the other charts I also use when I'm marking on Bitcoin is GBTC. This is Grayscale. Grayscale is one of the onboarding, I think, institutional platforms that traders and kind of gives you like a good sentiment on the cryptocurrency market, like Bitcoin, and where it could be going. So the fact that I see this bullish candle here on Grayscale, you can definitely see some more bullish action potentially happening, and this downtrend, this pullback potentially might be over. So that's what I use for that. And then you can also see a couple altcoins, which I do look at sometimes, just Litecoin and Ethereum. They pretty much follow Bitcoin. Bitcoin is kind of the DXY of cryptocurrency. So it's going to be your main base pair. Whatever Bitcoin does, the altcoins like Litecoin and Ethereum, they're all going to be following what Bitcoin does pretty much. So if Bitcoin down, you'll see your altcoins and Ethereum take a price hit as well. So I pretty much, I've tried trading Litecoin and Ethereum, and they do run. You can trade them personally. I thought Bitcoin's been more profitable, since whatever Bitcoin does, they just follow. Because when Bitcoin's up and dominance are up, the altcoins usually suffer for it. And then if Bitcoin's down, of course, altcoins suffer more for it sometimes. So it's not until Bitcoin has a big pump and it starts to become more expensive will other traders start to hop in these other altcoins like Litecoin and Ethereum to because it'll eventually run faster than Bitcoin, since it's a smaller market cap.
So we have somebody asking about leverage and account size to trade cryptocurrencies.
Oh, yes, good question. Okay, so Bitcoin, because it is like a practically trading, practically trading, like an exotic pair, pretty much it's pretty volatile. But so if you're trading in Forex, like you usually use like a 0.1 lot size, like a dollar lot size of Forex. Well, Bitcoin, you can make a lot of money on a 0.01, the lowest lot size you can use if you're using a normal Forex brokerage platform. And so back to the chart here. So basically, if anybody's curious about trying to do the calculations for that, so I would say definitely if you have a $500 account or $1,000 account, you can definitely trade Bitcoin, but I would only use like a 0.01 lot or 0.02 lot just because you will make quite a bit of money on trading this pair, because you can go from like if you caught like a move from 7,000 say up to like 8,000, and you trade like a 0.01 lot size, that's an easy $100, and that can move like $100 like that, or that can move $1,000 in an hour or less. So basically whatever you trade like your normal Forex pairs, tone that down by like 100 times. So if you're trading, like I said, like a 0.1 normally in Forex, I'm trying to explain this right, then I would trade like a 0.01. If you should normally trade like a standard lot, I would say definitely tone that down to like like a 0.1. So just to be safe, of course, you still want to use your position size calculator, to do your proper risk, and all the tips pretty much work the same. Depends on your broker you're using. It's not on here, but yeah, you still want to do your account size, saying, okay, I have a $1,000 account. I want to risk 5% of it, and my stop loss is, I want a 30 pip stop loss or something. Then you still want to calculate all that, so you're not over leveraging. But it all depends on your broker, how they do the calculations on that. For my personal broker, I'll use Hugo's Way, and so they have a calculation where I'll use Hugo's Way, and it's like you take your pip counts, you take your so for example, trying to find out what your pips are here. So you take your little tool here and you say, okay, so I see 3174, so I drop the last number. Drop the last number here, so that would be 316 pips, I guess, in this calculation. So I go ahead and calculator. So if I'm trading like, oh, come on. I'm doing this right. So 371, or 317, so 317, that's the amount of pips you're using. Say if you're using a 0.01 lot size, 2 times that. And then I think it's like 10 cents per contract for your orders or something. So it's like times 0.01. I guess no, I'm not doing it right. 317. Yeah, you have to ask your broker, depending which one you're using, if you're not using Hugo's Way, how they do that. But for me, I'm just going to skip to what I do because I already know it's like 10 cents per contract. So if there's 317 pips, and I'm using a 0.01 lot size, I'm just going to go, okay, move my decimal point here. So that's basically, oh, sorry. Yeah, so that's times 10 for 0.01 lot size, I think. Come on. I can't think right now.
It's okay. I'll put some notes in the chat.
Okay. Yeah, so like a 31. So yeah, so 317 pips. So if you're doing 0.01 lot size, that's $31.07. And so then you kind of can figure things out that way. Yeah, it's like you take your pip amount and you drop the last number, and then you times that by 10 cents for each contract, and then you can basically do your stop loss levels and all that stuff too. I wrote down the formula before, but yeah, just to answer your question there, or not really.
And someone else is asking, does cryptocurrency follow market structure?
It does. So as we can see here, price price consolidated, it had this huge run up, and then it has massive pullback right to 61.8 like I had drawn before. So basically, if you know how to trade Forex, then pretty much trading Bitcoin is the exact same thing. There's no special formulas. I mean, you said your pip count's gonna be a little bit different because your lot size, but once you figure out, okay, it's, here's my lot size, here's the size of my account, I'm only risking 5%. Once you figure out how to put your stop loss in there and all that, it's actually pretty easy. But yeah, there's nothing I changed trading Bitcoin that I do trading a pair like, USD CAD or your normal dollar pairs or things like that. Market structure is huge in Bitcoin. Technical analysis is pretty much what I use. I do pay attention to news in the market because, as we can see, news does affect Bitcoin a lot, and rumors, rumors like in most currencies move the market more than the actual news itself sometimes. So if you have it's like a new exchange launched, because there's no volume in that exchange, you happen to have a sell-off. Like we had here in 2018, the CME futures exchange launched, and they sold off, into the everyone sold, I guess, into it until they got more volume and new exchanges come on the market and they can grow and you get volatility. But you just learn different things, the market structure, how people say, oh, TA goes out the window with Bitcoin and something, makes a massive move. That's not true. TA never goes out the window. So if you hear anybody say that, they don't know technical analysis and market structure, and they don't know what they're doing. So you can always check the chart for what market structure is doing. I just think it's funny how it just so happened that not only did Bitcoin come down here and hit the 61.8 key Fibonacci level, but at that point in time, there just happened to be some big news that also, led the market off and went to this pump. So yeah, market structure never goes away. So I'm not sure if I explained that right. So yeah, if you're marking at USD CAD, with your levels and your zones and your trend lines, Bitcoin is the exact same thing. Nothing changes. Yeah, I guess pretty much everything's the same. All the markets are pretty much follow the same type of structure. So for example, we had this pump, we have this pullback, we have this other impulse happen. I did have a small order on a different exchange. I bought in at 85, so I am up a little bit on Bitcoin, but to get on a big order for me personally, I'm waiting for a pullback to retest all these EMAs right here. So I'm waiting for this area to get retested. I want to see some kind of a flag on like either the daily or 4-hour to confirm this impulse as legitimate, and then you can possibly see this continue on and move up higher.
Okay, somebody is asking, are there better days or hours to trade Bitcoin? Does it move at certain times?
Yeah, so being in a 24/7 market, what's nice about Bitcoin is literally I can work a full-time job pretty much and trade Bitcoin as I can. So pretty much or as you get time to. So it's I'm not watching this market 24/7 like I was in Forex, trying to wake up at different hours and middle of the night and trying to figure out, okay, when's my next move. I'm trading here in this pair. I've learned that patience is everything. So a lot of people might have what we call FOMO, and as Clint and Terrell and Marios and Gigi, I'm sure, have all talked about, is fear of missing out. So that everyone all jumps in the market and they all jump in on this pump. Unless you caught this breakout here, just let price come back here and just be patient. That flag will form. That new opportunity will happen. You can hop down to smaller time frames. Every pump Bitcoin's had, of course, you get a nice pullback eventually, and you'll be so happy you were patient and waiting for that key level to happen, to basically play out. So on the daily here, we saw that Bitcoin broke all these key EMAs here. So whenever a true uptrend for Bitcoin is happening, once price gets above all these 200 EMAs and 50 EMAs, and now you can go, okay, I'm waiting for a flag here. Now I'm looking for my trade here and looking for that next bull run to happen. So pretty much I'm at the same point here. So we have this pump up here. We have this big flag consolidation pullback. now it looks like we might possibly be getting our breakout here. So simply, I'm just waiting for that flag to happen, some kind of pullback, and then I'm looking to. I want to see price personally retest this 200 EMA here, 200 SMA, this blue EMA, and retest this key zone here at 9,000 to 9,400, and then I'm gonna look for potential buy trade off of that, before it goes off to the moon. Basically for Bitcoin, I'm going to go ahead and show you guys where I think Bitcoin could go. So if this is it, Bitcoin had its 61.8 retracement, and 7,000 is going to be the floor of Bitcoin for this next bull run here. We were consolidating for the longest time. We had a retracement. Looks like we're having a breakout here. Once we break above pretty much this 12,000 area on Bitcoin, there's really not much holding it back from getting up to the previous highs and beyond here. So pretty much I'm just kind of, honestly, I haven't seen this kind of price action on Bitcoin, I got into Bitcoin back in this run up in 2017 when it was going from $1,000 all the way up to 20,000. Like, I first started to buy a little bit of Bitcoin and get into the market back here. And of course, everything I'm talking here is not financial advice. I'm just giving you my opinion of where Bitcoin can go.
And see, that leads me to another question I was going to ask you. Do you only trade it, or do you invest in it as well?
I do both. So personally, I know trading, so I know how to trade, pretty much in the market, just from trading Forex and gold and commodities and stuff like that. I do both, but personally, the best thing I can recommend, in my opinion, to do is to just what they call hodl, and that's hold and just wait for Bitcoin to just keep accumulating. So basically, I would buy Bitcoin. I bought some down here, and then I held it up to here. Yeah, pulled back, made another dip. They say buy the dip. Not only for trading, but I think just your best thing, if you don't have time to trade or you want to do any trading, the best way to keep your money in your Bitcoin and to not lose it is to buy Bitcoin when it hits its lows, and then to just hold it when it makes new highs. What's cool about this asset is if you would have bought Bitcoin 10 years ago, if you would have bought, I think it was $10,000 of Bitcoin 10 years ago, you would be like a millionaire right now. But if you would have bought $10,000 in gold, you would have made like 15,000. So to keep the amount of gains in Bitcoin, just within like a year or two, even though it consolidates the longest time, it always surpasses its previous high. So you can go back. Come on, you can go back. Where is this? Yeah, in 2013, Bitcoin's at $100. Boom, it had its huge bullish run up. Almost hit a little over $1,000. Had its nice big pullback drop. But it's never. It can get back down to the $100 again, but it's pretty much had like you can retrace 90%, and then boom, the next year, or even like 2015. This is when my brother actually got into it. He first started to look at Bitcoin when he bought it like at $250, but of course it was new to him. He didn't really know much about it, and so he sold it for $500 at that time, and and then he looked at it out of it later, but. So that was back in 2015. So obviously it did the same thing again. It has little run-ups, it has its bull runs, it has its massive pullbacks, it has its run-ups, and you can do this, but every time it's surpassed its previous high. So here we got 2017 coming up, and here comes May. We had this pullback, it runs up, pulls back, but it's always breaking its previous high here. So as we see here that this last May, we started to really see Bitcoin skyrocket and come down, just big pullback. I think the measure move on this, if we do that, just come on. Copy this.
There's another question for you, Gabe.
Oh yeah.
For newbies and in training, in trading, are there educators and platforms that you might recommend for the noobs?
Like educators on the platforms, you mean?
Yes.
Um,
Any training platforms or special educators that specialize?
I can't really recommend anybody too much. I mean, I follow like Alessio Rossani. Like you can watch him on YouTube, and he's usually pretty good with trading stuff. I don't really. I mean, actually, I should say this. So there is Eric Crown, I think is his name. You can see he does have a he offers his own trading course on trading Bitcoin. Now that guy does know what he's talking about on Bitcoin. Now keep in mind he's a fantastic Bitcoin trader. He knows he's been trading for years. His dad used to be a big stock market trader, and he would see all the big players, Snooker and all the real-time traders, ever since that. So his whole life has been involved in trading. So you can go on YouTube. His name's Crown, or you can type in Crown's Crypto Cave. He's pretty vulgar in his trading, meaning like he knows what he's talking about and he's super legit, but he does cuss a lot and stuff like that. So he does offer one of his trading courses. I don't know how much it is, but he's the only guy that really comes to mind that I would actually recommend possibly looking into that. But if you already know trading yourself, you can pretty much, I mean, like for me, I kind of do it myself, and that's what I do. But I don't really recommend anybody besides just.
Yeah, I think she was speaking. You're not in iMarkets, are you?
No.
No, see, I think she's in iMarkets. I think she was asking about that. Oh. There's a really great a new educator named Kurt Cobain. If you're a part of iMarkets, he actually taught at 9 o'clock tonight, so you can catch the replay. But he's really phenomenal. He uses the Fibonacci a lot with crypto, just like you do. But outside of iMarkets, he dropped a lot of names, and when we drop the video, we will drop those names as well. But if you're in iMarkets Live, that guy Kurt Cobain is a beast. I can tell you that I met him personally, and he is phenomenal. So he's really good.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, like IML brings on, like at least when I was part of IML, like Stevenson Lindor, you get traders like that. I'm sure I can't speak to any of the guys on there, but besides Stevenson, pretty much. But yeah, and I'm sure they're super good traders, stuff like that. So I don't know if I haven't heard of any of those guys, but yeah, definitely check out those educators at IML. Learn more about what those guys have gone through for trading cryptocurrencies and Bitcoin. Every little bit helps. I will say this: so Bitcoin has a what they call a halving every 4 years, and this is what's so cool about this bull run. I think this is the bull run, in my opinion, that is going to make a lot of traders and people, just average investors, a good return on their investments. Is every 4 years, Bitcoin has this halving. So basically, the hashing power, what it takes for miners to make a profit on Bitcoin, or the difficulty of mining, gets cut in half. So every time there's a halving, so a couple months before the halving, in this case is May 2020, Bitcoin, that's when it usually ends up having these huge bullish run-ups. So
is that similar to when stocks split or something? I'm not
maybe.
I've never heard that term, so I'm telling you, I'm an advanced trader, but I'm learning a lot tonight. You're calling it a halving? Gotcha.
Yeah, so like you see here in May, this is when Bitcoin for 2017, this whole year. I mean, this went from like $1,000 all the way up to 20,000. I mean, that's in a year. I mean, talk about kind of gains for that. So if you bought Bitcoin for $1,000 and then you cashed out here at the top at 20,000. I mean, that's insane gain. So, like I said, this asset, within a couple of years, even if you bought Bitcoin, literally, like, I hate to say it, you never want to buy, your assets at the high here, but even people who bought Bitcoin at 20,000, eventually, within a few years, how Bitcoin moves, you're gonna be in profit and then some. I mean, for me, even a lot of people who got hammered on buying Bitcoin, these altcoins at the highs, if you just hold out and you're willing to wait, like a big institutional investor, even 2 to 5 years. And heck, this goes for any stock market crash as well too. a lot of those guys who they sold out of the stock market, and even some of the troubles we had last couple of years in like 2008, which really was just one big correction, pretty much if you know as traders. If you would have held those stocks back for price, eventually come back around, the stock market right now is at its all-time high. So it's the same thing for Bitcoin, but Bitcoin moves like a million times faster. So Bitcoin is not a get-rich-quick, investment. It's definitely something you want to hold for the long term. But what's cool about the halving coming up in 2020 is, like, as we know from other years, and every time there's a halving coming up, Bitcoin always has this massive pump right before the halving coming. It breaks its previous high and goes on, to the moon. So if 20,000 here was the previous high for Bitcoin, from 1,000 to 20,000, what do you think Bitcoin's going to go from here's 3,000 and got up to 14? So if this pullback is done, could you see, 100K, 360K? It's at that, once Bitcoin breaks 20,000, it's basically thin air. There's no resistance. There's nothing holding Bitcoin back. So when right now, personally, every time Bitcoin dips here, oh sweet, what I do is I dollar cost average. Either I take a good trade at that point, or I'll buy some physical Bitcoin because I got off topic before. But yeah, I recommend personally, if you don't want to do any trading and you do want to, and this of course is not financial advice in my own opinion, buy and hold whenever Bitcoin dips. So when you have, Bitcoin dip down here, it's low at 3,000, buy a little bit of Bitcoin. It dipped, I think, down here at 7,000, counting a dollar cost averaging in. So you're not just throwing all your eggs in one basket, but you're getting it at different points. And then eventually, you just buy at the low, and you hold it until the next previous high is broken. So you can take some profits off or just hold for the long term. But I think that this asset's only getting started. I mean, when people start to, this is on the weekly chart, of course, but who knows what this asset could be in 10 years from now. So,
but for the newer traders who, when he talks about buy and hold, he's not talking about trading it like on your MT4. He's talking about like an actual, what do you call them? Like a crypto wallet. Who are you using, by the way?
So just for most people, probably using Coinbase.com. Coinbase.com. This is where you can. This is a U.S. regularly exchange. This is probably one of the most well-known ones out there. Coinbase.com. This is super easy. You can go in there. You can get started, and you can buy cryptocurrencies. It's super easy. Like you have Bitcoin, Ethereum, things like that. I will say this though. This is what's cool is in this space. There's not a lot about on how do you buy Bitcoin, how do you get involved, pretty much. And some people have traded it, but that's why my brother is almost done with this book here on buying and selling Bitcoin, is because he wants to educate people on how do you go do that. Where do you go to? Do you go to Coinbase? Do you go at this other exchange to buy this asset? And how do you keep it from? How do you keep it safe? How do you move it around and things like that? So I don't want to get on here and start showing his book or anything. So if you guys are interested in learning more on how to do that, you can go to Coinbase. But if you want to know more, like more in depth, like how do you like it has pictures and book form and all that stuff too. You can DM me later more about that.
Make sure you give all that to Grant so we can include it on the YouTube video, like in the commentary, the description.
Yeah. Okay. I'll probably have to DM Grant. I'll probably DM you later with that.
Sure thing.
All right, sounds good. Let's see. What was I gonna say before? Sorry, there's so much in this space I want to talk about and cover that it's really cool. I had a thought there I was gonna say. Let's see. Okay. Actually, do you have any more questions about anything? I know I'm super sporadic. I meant to do a better job at planning this out. It's just so much that
you've done great.
Yeah, you really can't learn all this in one night. And like I said, I'm an advanced trader, and this is a lot because when you actually study Bitcoin, you're not just like trading the market structure. You actually know the history and the background. So any of the newer traders on here, this might seem a little overwhelming, but when it comes to market structure, and I'm going to go over some basic market structure tonight before we get off. Just like he's showing a flag pattern there, which is how he knew that it was getting ready to correct and go to the upside. If you learn the basic market structure, like he said, he studied market structure, and then he just applied what he knew about market structure to Bitcoin, but then he decided to take it further, and he started studying, the background of Bitcoin, what makes it move, and how it's created and mined and all that good stuff. So you don't have to know all that, the extra stuff that he knows. You can follow basic market structure to get started trading cryptocurrencies.
Yeah,
Gabe, you've done a great job so far, Gabe. I think everyone is engrossed in wanting to know more.
Yeah, I mean, if you guys haven't heard of Bitcoin or cryptocurrencies, definitely look into it. I mean, it's one of those things where this asset class is just totally new. You have gold and silver, but I mean, the gains from gold and silver, I mean, it's kind of sad actually. Like the last 10 years, I know I was doing some gold and silver investing in like 2011, and it, only went up, a couple $100 since then. That's pretty sad. Well, Bitcoin's gone up from being, pennies to almost 20 grand. It's just one of those things where it's like, but it's always surpassed its previous high within a few years. So it's with any good investment, for me, I'm a long-term investor. So I'm buying Bitcoin and Ethereum into not so much Ethereum, but mainly Bitcoin. And here's what I was going to say too, that learning this, and this is why even with trading, not just investing, I found that most people are only investing mainly in Bitcoin as that's the main store of value. It's a limited supply. It's only 21 million Bitcoin out there. It can't be inflated. It can't be messed with. It's a store of value. It's also something safe. It's kind of like, they call it digital gold because, as most of our money is already digital anyways, and that's what's so cool about this asset is, it's just constantly evolving, but it's something where most people, I found out that they're just trying to get more Bitcoin. So you can, when Bitcoin's bull runs are done, I want to say this, these other altcoins, they do run like Ethereum. Once Bitcoin's pretty much done its move and it kind of consolidates sideways, that's usually when you see Litecoin and Ethereum start to make their all-time highs and move and really start pumping. But most people and most investors are really just really investing in ETH and Litecoin and selling that back into Bitcoin and to increase their Satoshis or their Bitcoin investment. So pretty much there's one asset that I would say just focus on, and that's just Bitcoin. So that's pretty much what everyone's doing, because whenever there's a bear market, Bitcoin is going to hold its value the most, and that's kind of what everyone kind of dumps their money back into. So yeah, they make kind of short-term gains on these other altcoins like Litecoin and Ethereum, but pretty much Bitcoin's the big dog. It's the king dog. It's going to be around for a while.
We have another question.
Yeah.
Someone was wondering whether entering Bitcoin is best on the 4-hour or the daily, or perhaps a lower time frame.
So as long as not over leverage, and I'm serious about this, is being patient with this pair. You don't definitely want to go over leverage. I know everyone says that, but there's other exchanges, they say, oh, we offer 100x long and stuff like that. Basically, don't be greedy, just be smart. Just do like a small lot size, or small like 1x long. If you're using like a if you don't live in the United States, you can use other platforms like Deribit, which you can actually you can get more Bitcoin by trading Bitcoin. So if you have like like a coin or however much you might have, you can take a small part of that. You can basically use leverage, and you can long that. So if you have like a little 0.01 Bitcoin, you can long that with like a 1x long, like a 0.02, and you can gain more Bitcoin that way. However, I hate saying that because most people lose more Bitcoin trying to get more Bitcoin by trading it. So the best option for Bitcoin is just to buy and hold it. But I was going to say, wait. Yeah, pretty much. That's the only asset that I focus on. Is I call myself a Bitcoin maximalist. You know, I do invest in these other altcoins, but it's only to only a little bit though. Most of my money investments in Bitcoin because that's going to hold its value the most. To me, that's going to give you the most gains, and that's going to be where you want to kind of keep your money, pretty much, in my opinion.
So somebody's asking about where to watch it when the market is closed. Could you explain to them how some brokers allow you to trade it 24/7 even on the weekends?
Yes.
Hugo's the only one?
Hugo, as far as if you're used to the Forex platform and how they enter lot sizes and things like that, that's what I use. Hugo's way, cryptocurrency is a 24/7, 24-hour, 7 days a week market. So it never goes to sleep. It will consolidate a lot, but it does not go to sleep. And when it moves, it moves. So, like back in July. Back in June, July, we had this thing was really starting to run up, starting from May, but then it started to have this pullback and consolidating for weeks and months. But then, boom! All of a sudden, this past week and this last 2 days specifically, started to have this massive move. That's when you want to do it. Basically, I set some alerts here, but that's all I do. And it's going back to Bitcoin trading. You can work your full-time job, and I pretty much just watch the Bitcoin chart on the daily. To answer your question there, I do check the 4-hour once I see, okay, on the daily I got my daily close. So for example, I got my daily close here. Okay, good. That's a bullish engulfing candle. It's it started to give up all these key EMAs, which I personally was waiting for. I wasn't going to buy down here, although I could have. It's a nice little reversal pattern here. You got a nice doji, and then the price started to pump up. Personally, though, I know that Bitcoin is going to get up here to 14K and go beyond, but I'm willing to wait and to not buy any downtrends. What I mean by that is you can buy down here, but easily could have hit one of these key EMAs and come crashing back down, gone back down to 3K or gone down to this previous lows here. So on the daily, I wait for the daily close. I'm waiting for like a daily close or at least a 4-hour close above these EMAs here. And I think daily close for the Eastern time is going to be at 8 p.m. 8 p.m. EST. So pretty much if you're trading, you can go, okay, it's 8 o'clock my time, or it's, for me, I live in North Idaho, so we're on Pacific time, so it's 5 o'clock in the afternoon. I pretty much see where the daily candle closed at, and you can literally trade right off of that. So today, as an example, I could have bought, actually, I practically did. I took a trade right off here at 85. I got my daily close right here, and pretty much that was a solid, confirm that, and then you could take a trade. You can hop down the 4-hour. You could have taken a trade once that level broke, and you could have caught a good $1,000 move right here. So I usually use, once I get my daily confirmations, I usually don't have to go anything below the daily just because it's too hard to get stopped out and you're watching a chart constantly. Practically set some alerts, your key levels and where you're looking at for key EMAs. And then now I got my daily close here, or at least tomorrow's daily close, where this closes. I want to see where this is going to close at. And if this can hold these EMAs as support, and that would be where I would possibly be looking for an entry or looking for a closure there. So his daily closures, daily, monthly, and weekly, those are going to be your higher time frames. Those are not going to lie to you. I've gotten, the same thing with normal trading too, with normal Forex pairs. I've gotten snickered on, even here on the 4-hour, price will come up to, price will come up to some of these key levels here, and then it'll just come crashing down, and you think it's going to pump and break this level, and it doesn't. So it's one of those things where price will make these different patterns. Like here you have this bullish pattern. This actually, everyone was expecting this to break up to the upside, and it didn't. So I like to see daily closures Because then you check your chart pretty much once or twice a day, you know, where the daily close is at, and you can kind of see where price is going to. So I like trading off the daily, especially for Bitcoin. In Bitcoin and trade cryptocurrencies, a lot of the big whales and institutional players, everyone wants your Satoshis, your Bitcoin. So they will try everything on smaller time frames to manipulate it and make things a little bit different. It's actually not too bad, like the normal Forex pairs. But trading out these higher time frames, like the daily and the weekly, you can't go wrong, and you can take some good trades off of that. So, for example, we have a key level right here where price broke down. We had a nice daily closure doji right here, and it kind of made a nice little double bottom. We had a nice flag out here. If you go down to 4 hour, you'll be able to see that. And pretty much you can trade right off of that daily closure, and you can catch a nice run up there. So I found that it saves you time and money, and just being patient with it. Just wait for that daily closure. Once you get it, you can hop down to the 4 hour and look like a smaller flag to get a tighter entry, but I usually don't go anything below the daily because it's just easier that way, and there's less fake outs. Hopefully I answered your question there. Kind of long-winded.
I think that was
Anybody else
really
got
good.
any questions? Yeah, I know. Like now I'm ready to start trading some crypto.
Yeah. And even for like the daily, oh my gosh, I should have been studying this pair, and just simple things like I saw where price was right here. It had this nice beautiful drop. It had a nice little doji here. This made perfect sense. It hit the key level at the 618 where price went off. So really, that in combination with the news, we shouldn't be surprised where price took this pump off here. So we had a nice little reversal pattern on the daily. Beautiful reversal pattern right here. Right off the key level, strong daily closures. So am I bullish on Bitcoin right now? Well, I really want to see how price is going to end up closing here on the daily up here. But yeah, as far as I'm looking at Bitcoin right now, it's looking like potentially we might be able to have some more bullish room to come. So, but I don't want to get my hopes up too soon. We could see price drop down again, but so far it's looking pretty phenomenal. So I haven't seen green candles like this for months, even years, you might say. So see what else I want to cover here. I know it's just so much in this trade is so cool. Once you guys start going down the rabbit hole for cryptocurrencies, and especially Bitcoin itself, it's oh man, I stopped trading other forex pairs right now. I just been saving my money, like when Bitcoin was at its lows. Sweet, another time to dollar cost average, and to do that. So while I'm waiting for tradings to happen, I mean, just been patient with this pair. Different little reversal patterns that you learn here, like having these drops and these little dojis. I noticed that Bitcoin likes to do that, and Bitcoin also likes to do call them like these expanding flat flags. I know Gigi, she really showed me this pattern a lot too. That Bitcoin seems to do several of these flags here. So even when it's on this bullish run, I notice that Bitcoin price will run up here and it'll come crashing down. But before I give up on it and go, oh, it's probably gonna go lower, I'll usually draw like a little flat support line here. And sometimes, especially in a bullish market, it'll kind of create like a little spinny flat flag, and it'll respect that and then go off again. So one of those things that don't get fooled by when Bitcoin makes these little drops. You don't want to get emotional about it. And worst case scenario, like for me, yeah, I didn't buy down here, but I'm in Bitcoin for the long term. And if any trade, there's always a new opportunity. I'm just being patient. Price, hit 10.5 almost here, and it's already sucked back down to $1,000 less. So this key zone here, I mean, it's one of those things where just being patient, I can't stress that enough, has been amazing. I wish I would have learned some of these normal candlestick patterns and market structure lessons and just being patient in general when I was trading the normal Forex market, because I've just learned a ton with just being patient. That's probably been the one of the main lessons I've learned. Waiting for Bitcoin to move. Yeah, I'm not doing a lot of trading, and sometimes it might be months before any big moves happen. But just being patient. When this pair moves, don't worry, you're not going to miss it. It's not going to move. It's not going to do the whole move in one day. You know, all these here are daily candles. So even if you caught this little run up here, you know, made this new flag as here. If you actually, hang on a second. You can even kind of trap price in here, and then you set some alerts once Bitcoin breaks out of here. Oh, looks like it just got above the 21 moving average here in the daily. If you want to trade off of that, you know, you can literally trade off this daily here. Oh, we got up here. We got one little daily pullback candle right here. So even if you miss all of that, you can check this flag here. You've got some more price consolidation. You can even hop down into a smaller time frame, which I don't go any lower than the 4 hour just to be safe. But you'll see this little flag consolidation here. You know, broke out of here, consolidating, broke out again. It's these little patterns, knowing these patterns and market structure is key. And so if you're afraid to catch the bottom of these patterns or to execute off of them, no problem. I've had, you know, fantastic trades, just trading breakouts. And you'll know you're in a bullish market or bullish mood, because overall, on the highest macro time frames, I mean, Bitcoin's bullish. It does have these bear markets that can last, you know, months, a year, weeks. And so just being patient, knowing that eventually price will go up. You know, it might be a while. And I'm seeing that more and more, you know, countries are starting to come on in here, starting to move over to digital currencies. I know the Fed's been talking about doing faster transactions. Well, it's only a matter of time before the whole world's going to be really starting to use it. I mean, it's already a global currency right now, but it's only a matter of time when countries start, you know, using Bitcoin more often, because it's faster, it's more secure. Bitcoin's never been hacked. You know, it's just the use cases for it. Just the blockchain technology is just so cool. Microsoft, actually, I think, is starting to build on Bitcoin too. You know, you'll start to see more of these companies. The Nasdaq has launched their own they call it backed exchange. So that's physically backed Bitcoin. I think it's futures or contracts. So it's the normal stock market's starting to those big institutions are starting to come over and move over into Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies and become more involved in that. And so definitely as they start getting more involved, you know, I want to say this, they get really greedy, and some of these dumps that happen are literally just to scare these retail traders out of the market. You see that in Forex, they'll have these fake out moves. And so whatever you do, especially if you have your physical Bitcoin, you know, definitely do whatever you can to hold on to that and don't get faked out or scared out of the market. So yeah, Bitcoin might have these big dumps, so don't worry. You know, it's within, you know, months and a couple of years, Bitcoin's back up to, you know, blasting off its previous high again. So
Gabe, we have a question about your EMAs.
Oh yeah.
I know you mentioned 3 of them, but it looks like there's 4. Someone's asking about all 4.
Yeah, this was the 200 SMA, the simple moving average. So you don't have to put that on there, but I noticed that the 200 EMA, it's good to have on there too. And I hate to have a lot of EMAs because I'm a market structure trader, but price respects these EMAs a lot. And I found that this last, this 200 EMA right here on the weekly that Bitcoin had, so this was the 2017 bull market that shot up here, and then it turned into the 2018 bear market. It came down. This blue EMA is a 200 SMA, and it was respected for Bitcoin, you know, perfectly. And I had this EMA before when I was trading it or looking at the charts. Basically, I would have gone, oh, this got respected. It had a little, a little reaction off of that. It had a little flag down here. Basically, I could have seen price action. I'll hop down to the 4 hours so it's easier to see. Come on. Let's go back to the daily. It's easier. I've noticed that this is really a key indicator to know when you're in a bear or bull market. So that's why I have that on there. What's it? Oh yeah, so down here, so on the weekly, you'll see the EMA was right along here, and price respected that. It was just following along the EMA, and then eventually price was able to play off that and really get the market going. So it's just a good indicator, another sign that the bull market could hold, or it could be coming. So I just use that as a key indicator there, so that way you know, okay, the 200 for Bitcoin is super important. It holds a lot of weight, and same with the 50 and the 21. It's kind of good. These are the three indicators, pretty much, or EMAs I only use to check how things are going as far as that goes. So it's just, I used to not trade with all those EMAs, I guess, to answer your question, but they just hold a lot of weight, and it's just a good judge to see where price could go. And I know that on the like the daily time frame, I wouldn't have said that we were out of the. I could tell when we were out of the bull market. Sorry, I could tell we were out of the bear market once price broke above these key EMAs here. So rush. So once price got above these EMAs here, then I knew, okay, this whole bear market was done. This whole pullback was done. Price shot up here. So that's why personally I could have taken a trade off down here. And you can take a risky trade with your stop loss, super close, right below the bottom of that previous wick, the bottom there. But me personally, I wasn't waiting to take any trades off Bitcoin until price got above these key EMAs again. That way I wasn't buying any downtrends.
I have another question for you, my own question. Do you use Renkos with Bitcoin?
I don't. I don't use Renkos at all for Bitcoin. I mean, sometimes I might look at it for doing support and resistance. I'm sure Renkos would be super helpful. But, and actually I should say this too. Yeah, so you could check Renkos for Bitcoin. I don't do that, but if you're ever confused really on when this downtrend's actually, really good to go, you could say, okay, here is our last bear market we had. Renkos broke up above here. And actually, I'm glad you brought that up. Actually, I've just seen this for the first time. I knew this was the case, kind of, but you can see here, pretty much this is a big giant bear market flag, and then price broke up here, and then here's our market structure flag here. Seems like we just might have hit that key level here, and now price is starting to take off again. So Renkos, you can use Renkos. I personally just stick on candlesticks because Bitcoin moves so fast that the candlesticks, you can catch a move like hundreds of dollars in Bitcoin, especially in Forex trading. You have to be really careful of, because you can that's the best price you can get is gonna matter more. So unless you're doing a different platform where your stop loss, you can make it, several $1,000s below where the market currently is at. It's one of those things where candlesticks move a lot faster, so that's when you can kind of catch closures faster, and you can see where these wicks are wicking at, so you can kind of judge the market better. You can kind of see these little doji candles. So sometimes I should say that I do check Renkos a couple of times, but it's pretty rare. So
Thank you so much.
yeah.
Anyone else have any questions? I know there's a question about your fibs. I know you covered it briefly. There was a question to explain how you analyze fib levels at the current price.
Fib levels at the current price?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So you mean like, so say we had this little impulse right here, and then you're wondering, like, Okay, so yeah, so if I got this impulse right here, I go, okay. So I'm waiting for that pullback to happen, right? I want to see, okay, where is price potentially going to come back to? So I'll go ahead and drop down the 4-hour. We got our impulse here. Personally, I'm okay. I don't FOMO into news and into candle events, so I'm just being chill. I'm just being patient. I draw my fibs from the bottom of that impulse to the top for the bullish market or bullish trend. I go, okay. So preferably, I'd like for price to hit my 50 to 61.8 level. This is where I would like to see price come back and retest. And let's try it. So I want to see price come all the way back here, or preferably. Price doesn't have to, but either want to see price hit the 38, or at least get down here to the 50 and the 61.8. On the daily, you'll see right here. Where does that line up with? Boom, right here with all these EMAs, and preferably right here, the 200 SMA is that blue one right there. So I mentioned before, that was a good indicator, and that's why I have this blue one, 200 SMA indicator on there, because once price got above that, that's when this bull market was confirmed and was really going. So the same thing here. If price can hold this blue SMA here, I'll know this bull market has some more upside, potentially all the way back up to the 12,000, 13,000 level. So in this pullback, I just simply draw that there. I'll see price pull back at least to that EMA there, and that just happens to line up with my 61.8 and 50% retracement. So I want to see if that's going to hold the retest on entry. That's pretty much what I'm looking for the next potential trade I want to take off of. So that would be kind of what I want to see at the very least, but it all depends how price reacts around that level, because it can easily come smashing back through and you can see lower pricing. But if this holds, and all the key indicators hold, I mean, price was grinding along this for the longest time. That's something that when you notice when price does that, it'll grind along these key EMAs for the longest time, like on the higher time frame at the daily. Eventually, it'll come to break it. Oh, which reminds me, some people and some traders say, the more times something hits it, it means that the stronger it is. I found out that's not the case, and just because price has hit an area many times, we've seen several times. The price hit this 1, 2, 3, 4. Boom, Bitcoin broke down. Well, same thing with when it's testing the area a lot. This tested this several times in the daily. At least 1, 2, 3, 4, these bigger tests. And eventually price, came back around to test it for the third or fourth time, and it blasted through. So I found out that the third or fourth time when price comes to test a certain support or resistance level, just be careful, because they can easily break or drop below it. So, just because price hit an area many times doesn't mean that's going to be stronger or weaker. But I've found out that several times the price has hit a certain area, be ready for that to break. More times it hits it, be ready for that to break in that direction. So if it's hitting support several times, be ready for that to break down. If it's hitting resistance several times, be ready for that to eventually break up. I found that to be the case more often than not.
So on the daily candles, do they run the same as currency? Like the new daily candle will be at 5 p.m. tomorrow?
Yes, ma'am. So at 5 p.m. tomorrow, I want to see where this candle is going to end up at. So if we can get daily closure above all these areas here, these EMAs, pretty much anything above like 8,600 for me is going to be, and if these EMAs hold, that's pretty much what I'm going to be looking for potential trade. But of course, it all depends how price action is shaping up. But so far, this first daily candle was huge, and then this next one, this is still pretty significant. Yeah, I had this big wick here, but this wick can easily fill between now and tomorrow. Tomorrow's
the newer traders, pay attention to what he just said. Just because you got a big impulse right now, tomorrow at 5 p.m. when that candle closes, it could be below that trend line. It could be turned into a sell candle, or it could still be above that trend line. So that's why this candle is extremely important to him as to what's going to come next.
Exactly, yeah. And that's super key too, because you see here in Bitcoin, these are some pretty big wicks. I mean, let's see, that's yeah, I mean that's almost like 1,000 pips there. I mean, these wicks, these kind of super long wicks, and these things can price can drop all the way down there in one day and come sucking all the way back up. So don't let the wicks fool you, and that's why I like to see how things are wicking out and how they look too. But price, you know, make sure, yeah, it's when you see Bitcoin moving, you start going, oh no, I missed the move. But yeah, just being patient and seeing how it's going to wick and it's going to close, waiting for these higher time frame candle closes is really going to be key, because honestly, you can I like to watch the weekly a lot and see how this is going to close here, because not only the weekly candles will be closing on Sundays at the same time. So Sundays is where you get your not only your daily candle close, but your weekly close, and that's kind of where you're going to see on the weekly how things are shaping up. So come Sunday, when the new trading week starts, and if this weekly candle closes engulfing the previous candle, even just how it's shaping up right now, that's going to be pretty significant. Staying at this 50 EMA here on the weekly, it held up weight. But also, this was a nice big weekly candle that could be looking, you know, really good for some more bullish action to finally, hopefully, break this level here, which I've been waiting for the longest time to be broken. So, and like I mentioned before, how price has come up here and tested this several times, but its price has never really been able to break it. That's 1, 2, and if this comes up, that'll be the third time. Don't be surprised if this is the straw that breaks the camel's back, and then this finally gets broken. So you might have a little bit consolidation here. This finally gets up there, and if it breaks it, you might get some consolidation there, and then blast up to the previous high here at 20K, because that's really going to be key. So once this area here on 13,000 has like a daily closure, or even better, a weekly closure above there, that's going to tell you, okay, if they can break 12K, there's pretty much not really any resistance until we get to the previous high here. So, oops.
Would it be possible to drop a chart link for everyone? There was a request for that.
Oh, chart link, yeah. I can, yeah, let me do a better chart for that. Or you want me just to show potential moves for Bitcoin, or what I'm looking for like right now?
Yeah, what you're looking for now, maybe one of each, so
Okay.
they have an idea what's going on daily.
I'll give you the bearish case and the bullish case. Okay, sounds good. Let me go ahead and, yeah, I'll go. Let me go ahead and remark this up. Kind of sloppy there, so. I'll do the bearish case first. This is like worst case scenario. Like people are going to start saying that Bitcoin's dead, but it's not. Just if this bull run that I'm expecting is going to happen, and if this scenario did play out, and not only would it be an opportunity for cheap Bitcoin, but this would be a huge consolidation flag. So I'm going to go ahead and give this flag first. So let's go ahead. This is like worst case scenario, but definitely possible. I might do 2 charts for that. I got one. Let's see that. You can see test 3K, maybe a little bit lower. So that one there.
Man, if it drops back to 3K again, I'm going to throw some money on my Cash App and buy a bunch of Bitcoin and just leave it.
Oh yeah, Cash App is fantastic. I found out, yeah, it's easy, because then you can buy it faster than trying to log on to Coinbase, especially when things are dropping pretty quick. So this is this can easily see 3K again. And so anything's possible, or it could go a little bit below that, and then we can see that the Bitcoin go up. So, and that's probably one of the biggest lessons too. Whatever most people think, the market generally just does the opposite. So keep that in mind. Okay, so this is one of the worst case scenarios, and also at the same time, as a long-term believer investor, this could be one of my best case scenarios if Bitcoin got back down to that cheaper price. So I'll go ahead and do one of the charts there. You have to forgive me. I get excited that the thought of Bitcoin getting back below at 3K again, man.
Oh my God, I wanted to get low because there was a news story. There was a little boy. He was like 12, and his grandmother gave him $1,000 for Christmas. And this is like when people first started investing in Bitcoin. He took that $1,000 and bought Bitcoin. He was a millionaire when he went to high school. He got it like at the beginning. And by 12th grade, he was like a freaking millionaire.
Yeah, I mean, so literally, if price gets back down there, don't freak out. You know, just go sweet, better pricing, and that's what's beautiful about this asset. Is I'm happy when Bitcoin goes up because then you know, my investment's getting more profitable, and then I'm happy when it goes down because then I get to accumulate more. So, you know, it's kind of a funny thing I always say, but it's just one of those things where it's like it goes up and down. So, but
That's the wonderful thing about Forex. You can make money buying and selling.
yeah, that's the thing too that, yeah, it's definitely, yeah, Forex is yeah, it goes up and down. That's what's cool about trading too is, you know, you don't have to wait for price and stocks to be a certain high price to finally sell.
Hey, now you've dropped your chart, right?
I think so. I dropped one of them.
Okay.
You
When
guys
you get
it?
through, I wanna have you to do something for me just so I can have you show something to the newer people.
Okay. I'm going to draw this one a little bit differently for my second bearish scenario, in case that way. Double problem there. Oh yeah, 78. There we go. Happened too. So it's kind of like the first one, but I was just showing you this that may not get that low, and you can see this happen too. So that'll be a second. So bounce off the 61.8 here. We could either double bottom, come back again, I think, or we could see this is the level that when Bitcoin was first breaking out of this level, I wanted to see. We could see the 78 retracement, 78.6 before we get that bullish move there. Sorry guys, North Idaho internet. So I'm up by Coeur d'Alene, if you guys know that, where Coeur d'Alene is in North Idaho. Or Idaho's kind of its own little state that no one really talks about. So
I just think about potatoes.
yeah, or
Think
North
about
Idaho.
the skiing.
Yeah, North Idaho is where you get a lot of more of your skiing. It's totally different than the southern part of the state. It's like, you guys ever been to Lake Tahoe? It's like North Idaho is like a giant Lake Tahoe. So from California, so
Nice.
yeah, it's skiing, hunting, fishing, you know, all that stuff. It's awesome. Okay, let's see. Okay, and then as much as I like to get cheap Bitcoin, I'm also at some point this bull run has to continue. So I'm also excited for this opportunity as well. If this is it, I'll, you know, see how it happens. But wait for this case. So that's what I want to see, I guess. There. Oh, I might flag for this too. So just in case they did consolidate longer. I don't do that, but okay. There's one last thing I think, Gigi, before oh, come on. Okay. So GG, there's one last thing I want to cover while I'm talking about bull runs and where I think price could go before I do whatever else you wanted me to do.
Oh, you got the floor. Just go right ahead. Do what you need to do.
I apologize. It's taken a long time for me to explain stuff. I get excited and then I get I forget what I was talking about, and then so many points I want to make. So. Okay. So let me know if you guys got those charts, and then okay. So here's my personal trading plan here. If this is the bull run, this is what I'm waiting for. I want to buy as low as possible, but if this is the uptrend, this is the start of this the next wave, you might say. I want to see. This is for the previous bull runs, I've been studying on Bitcoin and backtesting. So we know Bitcoin on its halvenings, or at least going up to the halvening, and then it eventually breaks it after Bitcoin's halvening. So in this case, May 2020. It's usually what happens before it breaks the previous high, and I'm trying to so if you're trading, say we're in trades here, long-term trades down here, and this is the bullish case, either we caught the flag, we get a nice little pullback down here, back to 8,600, 9,000, whatever it might be. So kind of like a giant teacup, Bitcoin will come up here, and of course, a lot of sellers are waiting for the previous high to get hit again because they think, oh, double top. So this is what I'm thinking could happen too. So Bitcoin gets up here if this is the plays out how it is, and just kind of like a cup and handle teacup, it might hit the high there, make this nice pullback, and then you'll eventually get the continuation to break up and continue on its previous high there. So in this case, if Bitcoin gets up to 20K, I'm thinking it might pull back. Let's do a just say Bitcoin gets up there. Just say hit around 20K here. As you can see for the Fibonacci retracement, I don't see it, going down, below maybe. Well, anything's possible, but this could happen. So of course, you can see it could pull all the way back down to 12,000 and then go up. I don't see that. I'm thinking more like hits the top of 14K here, but anything's possible. And then it kind of makes its way up to finish. I'm just drawing that what I see is the worst case probably retracement it might do. It can always go lower, but I think it might just kind of hit this area up here and then go up. But I'm thinking when it gets up to 20,000, it might do a pullback maybe even only to 17,000. Might do like a just like a 15,000 here. It depends. It might pull back a few $1,000s, and then it might break the high there. So, like I said, even if everyone missed down here, and it might miss some consolidation up here, and it hit the previous high at 20K, okay? Don't worry. When this next bull run goes, you won't have really missed out. So until it starts getting like some daily closes and some weekly closes above here, which of course is another opportunity. I'll be daily, weekly closures of there will be another opportunity to get in there. But whenever this pullback is done, that's going to be your next opportunity to either now to order in or to get in if you haven't gotten the market yet. So that's kind of what I'm thinking, just like it would normally be for trading. But I don't think that, which it's always possible, Bitcoin can blast to a previous high and then do a pullback and then go, but don't think that's going to ever get off without you. So you can always catch the next daily candle, and I just want to throw that out there real quick. So you could have a slight pullback or bigger pullback once 20K gets hit, going up to the halving in May 2020. So price may not break that previous high until then, but it could slowly grind up to that price in the next several months here. So this would be virtually the beginning of the official bull run, you might say. So, in my opinion. Okay, sorry about that. What was it you wanted me to chart up or move?
I just like right where you are here on the weekly, you see, I just want the newer people to see how that big long wick that left that little red doji. If you highlight that and then take it to a lower time frame, I just want them to understand that at one point that was actually bullish candles and how it pulled back, just so they could see what could possibly happen with that big run today.
Oh, this one?
No, back at the top of your trend line. See that?
Oh, here?
Yeah, that was how many pips it dropped?
Let's see. That was a little over 2,000.
Yeah.
If you're going off of, yeah. Well,
like just draw like a rectangle around that one candle and then like break it down to like a daily so they can see. Wicks are very important, guys. Like he was saying, just because you got this big green candle to the upside, he still needs to wait and see what it's going to do when it closes.
let me go to market on the weekly here.
Yeah.
Okay, so that one there. Let's go ahead and clone that. That one. Oh, come on. Oh, they're very big clone. Okay, so I'm gonna hop down the daily. Yeah, don't let the wicks fool you. They tell a story. They really do.
Now, all of that in there is what made that wick, and that's a lot of price action.
And this happened in a matter of hours. So I was riding this wave here, and I was like, yeah. Then it went down there and started coming back quick. I'm like, oh man, thankfully I was at break even at that point. But yeah, that was,
a wicked wick.
Yeah, a wicked wick. But man, oof, those wicks. But
now you see by going to a lower time frame how that wick that makes it look like there was like this huge sudden drop. It wasn't like a huge sudden drop. There was a lot of price action took place inside of that wick over the span of a week. Like on our regular currencies, it's 5 days, but on crypto, like he said, it's 7 days. So it took 7 candles, and you had a bullish, then a bearish, then a bullish, then 2 bearish, all of that inside of that one wick. It's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it's awesome.
If somebody scalping on a lower time frame could have been cleaning up.
Yeah. And here's what's cool about the Bitcoin. Like literally, okay, so in May, even at the end of the year in December, it started to work its way up. But I mean, can you imagine? So how long it takes to even if you would say you bought one Bitcoin down here at 3,000, okay, and then Bitcoin went up here in a matter of a few months, got up to 13,000.
That's a lot of money.
Was that worth waiting? A few months?
Oh yeah, better than any bank's gonna ever give you.
Yeah, so that's if you sold there. I mean, personally, I would hold longer because if you got up to 20K, a couple years ago, or a year and a half ago, then this next bull run is just going to be, 100K or who knows. Once it breaks 20K, I mean, the sky is the limit, literally. Who knows how far it can run before it does a bigger retracement and goes on. But it's like that's why it's so cool for me waiting. I go, okay, so I can try to dollar cost average or buy it at its low here. Wait, a year, a couple of years, several months. I mean, what kind of payday would that be? You sell it at this high, and knowing that's gonna do a big old pullback too. That's amazing. So what was that? Several $1,000s. I mean, that's how many years would it take to without losing your money? Would it take to do that? And just not trying to be forex biased here, but in the normal forex market, are you willing to wait, be patient for it, and sell it at the high there and make several $1,000s, or potentially lose all that trading and I guess your normal pairs, you might say. That's why I like about Bitcoin is I can when it moves, it moves, and trust me, like you won't miss out. Like even though you'll be patient, you kind of forget about it for a while, set some alerts, and so when it does start moving, you go, oh, okay, boom, like we're seeing now. This was consolidating for the longest time, several months, but boom.
Yeah, the longer the consolidation, the bigger the breakout's going to be. So
exactly. So this is the kind of flag that can easily, bring us up to you know, those 100K levels or however much it could possibly go to, but definitely can at least get us up to 20K again. So this was a huge flag. So if these little flags make these little impulses like this, and that was only, you know, 3-4 months here, made this big moves here. Imagine when this thing gets going, how many months this thing can spike to this week. Let me go back to the monthly. Hang on a second. But yeah, so if these little blips on the radar, these are all green candles. We had like maybe 1 month of a red candle. So if we had 3-4 months of solid red candles, I mean, man, I'm excited. This thing can get on up there, but oof, it's I don't want to get my hopes up.
If it pushes up after this candle, it should at least take out that 14,000.
Yeah, easy, because definitely if they can get past 12, if they can get like a daily closure above 12, I'm thinking that, yeah, 14K is going to
If you look at that wick and draw a trend line to the left, it's at the close of those other two candles right there where you were. Like at the close of those two at the top. If you were to extend a trend line out, like you see where your wick is at the top up there?
Yeah, here.
If you go straight left, you see it's at the same close as those previous bodies. So that's what I was saying, to push it up to there. That would be the next level I would be looking at right there.
Oh yeah, right here. This, yeah, so this 14K, yeah.
Yeah, you see how that wick just kissed it?
DG makes a good point right there. So this is where, say you miss the other opportunities, or just you think about, okay, so we had an opportunity potentially coming up here. That's one. When it gets up to 14K, you could see some consolidation here. And hopefully it's not that long on the monthly, but I'm just good on the weekly. But we could see, you know, a little bit consolidation there. Might see some like a daily closure too. It could be, you know, opportunity number 2. And then when it gets up to here, you know, this could be depending on how price reacts up here, might get consolidation, get that pullback, and then the opportunity to keep going on. But there's always going to be a move to catch. And after trading the Forex market for a couple of years too, stuff. Sleep is important, and that's what's so beautiful about trading. I like trading Bitcoin, is literally just waiting for daily closes and set a couple alerts, and so I can you know, I can sleep and not have to worry about getting staying up all night or getting up super early in the morning.
Yeah, and see, that's something we had wanted to talk about tonight. A lot of people are like, well, I work full time or whatever. We've seen several people who worked full time hit 6 figures in under a year. Like Terrell, Marios. Well, Marios wasn't working, but you know, Terrell was working 6 days a week, 10 hours a day. You know, a lot of people work full time and just put a few minutes a day into the market and pull out a lot of money. So like you're saying with this pair, you just watch. Now, do you think that you could do that with a Forex pair, just trade off the daily closes? Because I've heard other people say they do that.
Yeah, I mean, you can for Forex.
It's just not as volatile.
Yeah, that's what, well, I shouldn't say that. I mean, Forex, even though Forex, I found it's still short term, meaning like you can still, like your pair is going to move a lot faster than Bitcoin sometimes, meaning like when Bitcoin moves, it really moves like faster than anything. But for example, if you're waiting to catch couple hundred pips on a pair like JBP USD, well, that moves a lot, you know, just an everyday movement. So you can make a lot of short-term money, you know, catching 100 pips here, 200 pips there. But, you know, Bitcoin might, you know, consolidate for months and then move, you know, 20,000 pips, you know, in, you know, a couple months or a couple weeks or something. You know, it's one of those things where it's like, you know, it all depends, you know, what your goal is. And I found out higher time frames, whether you're trading any pair like GBP USD or any of your other Forex pairs, the daily and higher, man, I had to learn that the hard way on this pair too. But once you got it, you got it, and it saves you so much more money. And that's what the big traders do. They'll look at the weekly and they execute off the daily, or they're, you know, you want to get a tighter entry. Once your daily confirmation's there, you can go off the 4-hour, but you know, it's the daily and higher, you can't go wrong. So, and I know Terrell preaches that a lot too.
Yeah, I don't like to make an opinion based on anything lower than the daily either.
Yeah, I just got, you know, like in trading it, you can get snookered so easy. And so I think it's funny how certain price movements, you'll see that, oh, the 4-hour candle isn't closed for another 3 hours, or the daily candle closes in, you know, a couple hours, but price will make a movement the last couple hours and totally nullify what you're waiting for, or make
Exactly.
you know, price action will do something. You go, whoa, that totally, you know, invalidates what I was looking for in general. So, you know, it's just, you know, to trade off the daily, you know, there's nothing wrong with hopping down the smaller time frame. So, for example, boom, I got my daily close of all these EMAs. Okay, sweet. Well, I'm trading, you know, my normal Forex pairs. I'm gonna hop down the 4 hours, see if I can get some kind of smaller flag. Maybe I can get a, you know, a few pips better pricing, or I can, you know, worst case scenario, while the little flag's starting to form, now I can start to catch a little 4-hour breakout or something. You know, like something that can give me a signal beforehand, but I confirmed everything on the higher time frame, like the weekly, the daily, before I start thinking about taking a trade. I guess if that makes sense. So, but I never go anything below the 4-hour. It's just too much noise in the smaller time frames. You lose sight of the big picture, and then there's things you miss that could save you a lot of money, or just been patient for another couple of hours could have saved you you know, more money there. But just, it could be a difference between having an account or, you know, having to avoid you know, unnecessary loss, things like that. So
switching gears just a little bit, when I was talking to you about coming on tonight, you made it clear that getting a mentor is like what took you to your next level. So you were sort of struggling before you reached out and got a mentor.
Yeah. So for example, if someone's, like you said, if they traded the market, you know, they've been trading the Forex market for 10 years, there's certain things will let you know, like, you know, oh, I learned never to trade anything lower than the daily, and having a mentor to tell you those things can save you so much. And he'll, you know, and just learning that, okay, you know, especially if they studied these pairs and they've been trading that pair for years, you know, like just focusing on that one pair, they go, oh, okay, I know how these British pound pairs move, and this is something that when they move, they can move, you know, 400 to 1,000 pips, you know, in a couple weeks, but then they, you know, of course, have a big old pullback. Or there's certain things that having a mentor to teach you those lessons and to be able to explain that to you and show you and to help you along when you're still learning these things, especially when you're, you know, saving money. It's one of those things where it's really annoying to have those lessons where the only way to learn them is to lose money. But sometimes, you know, to some lessons that you don't have to lose money to learn them, and having a mentor just in any market in general to help you, whether it be for business, you know, any kind of career you want to do, just it helps you to grow and to learn and become more successful. Learn from their mistakes and failures.
Right. And I tell people, you're going to pay for the education either way, either by paying for a formal education or either by blowing accounts. I would rather pay for the formal education and learn the right way and become a profitable trader sooner than to be blowing my money and getting frustrated. Because I have a friend, he's a 7-figure trader, and he had to figure it out all on his own because when he started trading, they didn't have, it wasn't accessible to people like it is now. So the money that we spend on education, he spent way more blowing accounts and, you know, learning through trial and error. So you're going to pay either way.
I've lost, I was doing, especially doing my next tax year. I was going through the numbers and how much I lost in Forex, and I probably lost at least, I'm sorry to say, at least $5 or $6 grand, you know, like, and I go, and then I think about, at least when this was before I got, you know, my mentorship from Stevenson, and learned, you know, so many more things, you know, after that, and you go, wow, so if my mentorship costs even half that, or you know, a few $1,000s, is it worth it to save myself from losing, you know, double that or even more, you know, and to have that connection for the future, to you know, to have that mentor there to say, hey, you know, I like you know, you can always talk to your mentor later. Here's what I'm thinking on my charts here. You know, what is there an insight you have about this or that, or how do you look into these markets? And so, you know, it's just kind of cool. You can have that confirmation, and that those things you can learn, but that person to go back to later and to you know, run ideas off of, and just like to be a part of a, you know, kind of like a group there. And it's just I can't explain, you know, how important it is enough. I mean, you can't stress that fact enough. It's imperative.
Yeah,
It
and if
does help a
guys,
lot.
if y'all don't have somebody to trade with, like if you're in a group, team up, get some people, jump on a Zoom, look at some charts together, drop charts, discuss them. You don't have to do this by yourself. It's always better to have an extra set of eyes, especially when you find somebody who trades market structure the same way you do. You know, you can't trade market structure and then go compare notes with somebody who trades something completely different. But
Oh yeah.
does anybody have any questions for Gabe? Anything about market structure in general, Bitcoin, anything? Everybody's just been like quiet tonight because this is a lot of information. I really appreciate it. But if you guys have any questions, speak now, forever hold your peace.
I got a question. Gabe, by chance, you have a YouTube channel?
Can I say it again?
By chance, do you have a YouTube channel?
No, I don't have a YouTube channel. I
had to threaten his life to get him on here tonight. No.
Yeah. No,
this
but
is a rare occasion to get to see Gabe.
Yeah, I'm like a recluse right now for trading. I've just been kind of focusing and learning. So, but yeah, no, I'm always like I said, I've been kind of setting things up in the back scenes. I've been behind the scenes, I might say. Sorry, I've been talking pretty fast here. But yeah, my brother actually created, because the space is still so very new. I mean, it's been around for, Bitcoin itself has been around for 10 years, but the last couple of years, the space has evolved so much that it's just, it's still new. Like literally people getting in now are still getting in at the bottom.
Yeah, because we were just able to start trading it via MT4 in the last 2 years. So this is really new.
Exactly. And that's when people go, oh, Bitcoin's already at, no, like for example, oh, it's already at 9,500. It's already at 10,000. Like if you weren't buying Bitcoin, you know, like I was buying some Bitcoin at 15K or something. So I'm like, hey, anything below 10K is a good deal, I always say. You know, so it's just one of those things where it's, you know, once you learn more about the space and go, oh, okay, this is how Bitcoin moves, you know, it's, I tell people now that you're not late at all. I mean, honestly, when most people are finally going to get on board with Bitcoin, I guarantee you, Gigi's probably thinking the same thing, maybe, that they're probably going to they're going to think about Bitcoin when the price is past like 20K again. Like, oh no, Bitcoin just broke its previous high or something. That's when they're probably going to start thinking about, maybe I should look into that Bitcoin
Never
thing.
buy high, because you see what happened the last time. Everybody was like, oh, it's 20,000. I'm going to buy it because it's going to 100,000, and they lost their money.
Yeah. So, because and even if it does like a $3,000 pullback, they're probably going to think, oh no, Bitcoin's dead, and they're going to, you know, start hopping out again. And even if it's like a bigger pullback, I don't know. It's just funny because I can see it happening now, you know. So it's just yeah. So definitely you don't want to you know, fumble into anything. You know, definitely there's always going to be a pullback. You know, there's never a loss, and you never lose anything. There's always a new opportunity. But
So how does it feel to be such a successful trader at only 23? That's crazy. I wish this had been around, available to me when I was your age. It's a blessing. You got like your whole life ahead of you, like the old folks say. You're only 23 and you're already a successful trader. So how does it feel?
Oh, it feels good. I mean, right now I'm grateful that I have this opportunity right now, especially with not just in trading and Forex in general, but the opportunity that cryptocurrencies and Forex and investing, especially at my age right now, is providing, because millennials like my age, we're broke. You know, I'm sorry to say, but we, you know, we don't have enough money for a house. We, you know, we really don't appreciate. I'm sorry to say, we don't. I mean, honestly, how many of us actually appreciate people my age? You know, gold and silver has a value in itself. So when people say, oh, you know, that's going to be like a long-term investment, which I'm not saying it's not going to be. I'm just saying, though, just cryptocurrencies in general is kind of a nice, it's a new opportunity for us to finally make, you know, some nice gains, and to be able to hopefully, you know, have a, you know, a nice home, and to, you know, be able to raise a family off of, and be able to, you know, get ourselves out of debt, which, you know, whether it be our fault or, you know, our previous generation's fault because of just how the economy is going and how the dollar's been inflated and stuff like that too. And, you know, like if you're thinking about what if, you know, the stock market's not there for us to invest in because of course it's at all-time highs, you know, what do we have to fall back on? You know, and it's just one of those things where I think cryptocurrencies is a such a new asset. It's a new adventure, and it's something that we don't know what the possibilities are. But just even for the technology, you know, it's been offering quite a few jobs too, and just kind of seeing how the economy is changing, and it's pretty cool. Like I meant to say earlier, but this space is so new that me and my brother he's been working on creating a new book on how to buy and store Bitcoin, and I think he's almost ready to get on Amazon. He's got all the books printed, and it's pretty cool. But he goes through, you know, how do you get, you know, devices to store it? How do you, you know, where do you go to buy it from? Is it Coinbase, you know, a Cash App, things like that? You know, because it's people go, okay, you know, once they get it, you know, because it's such a new concept. It's the education part of it is, you know, it's not really much out there. People think it's Bitcoin's so new that I guess there's just so much to it that it's actually pretty simple. And, you know, most of our money is digital anyways, but, you know, there's not much education part of it through there. And so to help people, you know, coach them through things and to you know, explain things and to, I guess, kind of go through there. It's just pretty cool to be able to go through there and to have the opportunity not only to help people, but to enrich their lives as well. So it's kind of my goal right there.
When is your brother's book going to be available?
For some reason, he's been trying to get on Amazon. They had a problem with the ISBN numbers or something, so it's like literally like 2 steps away. So
yeah, I've self-published before, so I understand. But I was going to say maybe I can buy a book and do a giveaway for everybody who comments on the video. I'll buy one of his books and give away one of his books, so they can go watch the replay. And I'll buy one of his books and give it away.
So Gigi, yeah, I'll DM you, but this is gonna be really cool. I mean, I think that to have more in-depth version of how to get it and have to actually know what you're doing with it to not get scammed, you know, with Bitcoin stuff. Because I can tell you, I mean, you know, if people, and especially most average people, if they're not, as this goes on there, who knows what's gonna come up. You know, when we have $100,000 Bitcoin, I'm sure there's gonna be a lot of scamming attempts and whatnot.
Oh, yeah. Well, we had that before when it first kicked off, and that's why I didn't buy into it in the early stages because of a lot. I knew people who did get scammed out in the beginning. Yeah,
but it's gonna be pretty cool though. So yeah, I'll talk to you. Maybe
now you can just buy it through Cash App. Nobody can scam you.
Exactly.
But
yeah,
anybody, guys, now's your chance to ask questions before we get off of here tonight. He's been going for 2 hours, and which is usual for ForexNChill. We always do that. But
yeah, I didn't think I was gonna be able to go this long, but yeah, it's been fun.
Yeah, there's a lot to learn about cryptocurrency. And this is the first time we've covered cryptocurrency on here like this. So anybody else have questions?
Yeah, so Gabe, when would you be returning?
When I be what was the last part you said?
Yeah, when is your next appearance?
They
want to know. They want an encore appearance. When do we get more Gabe?
Encore appearance? Well, I don't know. Yeah, I guess just whenever. Next time you guys want to have me on, I'm sure I could hopefully try to work it out. So
somebody's asking, can you look at ADA USD?
ADA USD, so Cardano.
Yep, because I know Lindor likes Cardano. He likes it for investing. He bought it when it was like at the bottom and is holding it.
Oh, 4 cents. Oh man, I can tell you 4 cents is like, I mean, all these altcoins at the bottom. I was buying Cardano when I got up to like 58 cents at the high. I was like, yeah, this is great. And before I learned how Bitcoin moves, and I was like, oh man. So yeah, this Cardano, when altcoins run, it's going to be nice. But here's the thing, though, that a lot of people may not understand this. And this is what I mentioned before. When Bitcoin has its bull run, most of the Bitcoin dominance, if you look at the Bitcoin dominance chart, I think it's like at 65 or 70%. I might pull it up here in a second. But When Bitcoin moves, all the altcoins, they're not really going to move too much until Bitcoin starts to consolidate. So if it runs up to, say, 14, 20K and it starts to sideways consolidate, and maybe like when Bitcoin starts to near the end of its, if it's a bullish run move, that's when you're going to see a lot of these altcoins run faster than Bitcoin. And that's when, like me personally, I see Litecoin, Cardano, and all this, some of these other good projects, legitimate projects, move and start to run up. That's when I'm personally going to sell my Cardano, my altcoins into gaining and increasing my Bitcoin stack, because that's going to be ultimately more valuable too. And then, especially if you know like an altcoin or a bear market's coming for cryptocurrencies, definitely you want to have most of your money into your Bitcoin, because altcoins are just going to get hammered when that happens. So Bitcoin is going to hold its value more in that sense. But side topic, yeah. So go ahead. You want me to tell me? You want me, I guess, to go over what I think on Cardano?
Bitcoin is like the Rolls Royce.
Yeah.
It's gonna hold its value when the little U goes. No.
Yeah, I mean, it's when you guys see this next market go, it's going to be, just remember that whenever you think Bitcoin's at its high or it starts getting to that area, you definitely don't want to be holding your altcoin bags. So, definitely, I mean, you can do what you want. If it's a legitimate project, you definitely want to. I'm not giving you financial advice, but I'm just saying, just don't be surprised if your altcoins lose 80 to 90% of their value. They will come back. Maybe it's just that's just how the Bitcoin moves and how the altcoins are affected with that relationship. So, I just found that out from the last bear market the hard way. So, I'm definitely buying these altcoins. Like Cardano's are going to be a good project, and I think that's pretty cool. But have, in my opinion, most of your money, in Bitcoin. Definitely can invest in these altcoins, but yeah, buying these. This is a good price. 4 cents. Cardano's at the bottom. Eventually it's going to get to its highs. Come on. Eventually it will get up back to its highs up here to what is it? It got up almost like $1, I think, at one point. Maybe not. It was 50 cents. Okay. But yeah, Cardano is good. And these altcoins are literally at the bottom. I mean, Ethereum's at the bottom. For me personally, I'm a Bitcoin maximalist because of how all altcoins get hammered and all that. But unless you're in it for the project, for like the technology, which there's some good projects out there, like Elastos, that's a smaller altcoin, but I'm in that for the technology. It's kind of like the new internet and things like that. But pretty much for me, I like to stick with, mainly Bitcoin. I kind of invest in a little bit in ETH and Litecoin. Those are some good coins, but definitely have to be careful though when you start getting too spread out with all these other altcoins, because that's when you can lose a lot of your Bitcoin fast when you start investing in these other projects too much, and then there's a time to invest in them, and now you can start accumulating some. But I just be careful not to spread yourself too thin. Just make sure you have a pretty good Bitcoin supply, and then if you have some extra Bitcoin, you want to make some more money or make some more gains in these altcoins, that's what I would do. But just be careful not to overinvest in the altcoins, in my opinion. So, yeah, were you guys wanting to? Did I answer a question here on Cardano, or not really?
No, thank you very much, because I was curious about that because of the fact that I'm seeing it going down, but the Bitcoin was going up, and I thought that was a little strange. I thought I was hallucinating for a second, but you broke it down. I appreciate it.
Yeah, you're not hallucinating. So basically, Bitcoin goes up, altcoins go down sometimes, depending how much the Bitcoin dominance is. So, but when Bitcoin really starts to run, eventually it starts to get pretty expensive. You might start to see a lot of money start to flow out of Bitcoin and then go back into the altcoins. But yeah, usually Bitcoin's the kingpin. So when Bitcoin goes down, then altcoins really get hammered, and that's one of those things where it's like understanding the relationship with it. So once you know Bitcoin's bull run's done, it starts to sideways. The altcoins really like to move when Bitcoin's consolidating sideways. That's when you start to see your altcoins start to have some better moves. But definitely, I mean, you're practically at the bottom here. So this can consolidate. I mean, we're on the weekly here. It could be years before, you know, I'm not saying this is going to happen, but I'm saying pretty much buying Cardano here at the bottom. I mean, you're pretty much not going to get any better pricing. It could just range here for the longest time, keep ranging. So, and eventually, 5 months down the road, a year down the road, eventually you'll have, you know, the run up again too. So that's just how.
Cardano isn't something you would trade; it's something you would invest and hold.
You can do both. I mean, it isn't really altcoins. I would invest. I have some Cardano. You know, I have a little bit there, but I guess the past several months I've just been like, you know, I'm so glad most of my money is in Bitcoin, most of my investments, because just these will have their day. You know, like Cardano, you know, Ethereum, Litecoin, these will really start to run. It's just you just can't go wrong holding Bitcoin is my main point. So I know I sound biased there, but I've just seen these altcoins just get hammered. And I know I had some of these altcoins at the top of the 2017 crash. So you know, if I was buying Cardano at like 58 cents and see it going all the way back down to 4 cents, and then you have, you know,
Hey, Gabe, one more question about Cardano. If one wanted to purchase it,
yeah.
would there be options or places? How would one purchase Cardano?
I would just go to like Coinbase.com if you don't already have an account. And I think, you know, do they have Cardano on there? I'm not sure if they do.
And the new Binance, I think, does. There's like the US-based Binance Pro or something.
Yeah, but you need to have Bitcoin for that. So did they put the new on-ramp on there? Do you know, Gigi?
I hadn't checked it since they switched over.
Yeah, unless Binance has put on a new fiat to Bitcoin gateway on there, you might have to go to like a Cash App or a Coinbase to buy your Bitcoin and then transfer your Bitcoin over to those exchanges to buy some of those altcoins like Cardano. Because of that's just how it works. Like I said, and that's why holding Bitcoin is so valuable, because everyone needs Bitcoin to buy all their altcoins, you might say. And that's why a lot of people sell their altcoins to make more money back into Bitcoin, because that's how they can increase their Bitcoin stacks. So it's yeah, but I mean, Cardano's at the low, so I mean, you can't go wrong buying some here. You know, can't go any lower. So eventually, the only move is going to go is up, whatever that time is.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Someone is asking your opinion of Ripple.
Ripple, ooh. I hate Ripple with a passion. Ripple is I'm not trying. Ripple can be a good investment. You know, you can make good money off of it. But for me personally, Ripple's kind of the dark side for what cryptocurrencies were invested for. I mean, you know, like I have some Ripple too, so I'm not going to be like, you know, I don't have any. But I definitely, once it gets back up to some previous highs and gets back up to a good time to sell, I'm definitely going to get rid of my Ripple. There's nothing wrong with it per se. I just don't like how centralized it is. It's like cryptocurrencies just try to, you know, get control to be your own bank. You control your money. You know, Ripple is super centralized, and it's kind of like the antithesis of what cryptocurrencies was created to do. It's created to be more freedom, decentralized. You know, everyone can be their own bank. You know, be able to you know, transact without having to worry about things getting devalued. Well, Ripple can. There's so much supply of Ripple that's why they can inflate it anytime they want to. And so pretty much the big banks can go, okay, well, we'll just use XRP and we can create ripples out of thin air if they want to, or stuff like that. So it will pump with the rest of the altcoins, in my opinion. And so if you have Ripple, don't freak out. Don't all of a sudden start thinking like you need to get rid of it. No, it's just for me personally. It's just I would sell that once it gets up higher to get more Bitcoin, but it's not a project that I truly believe in for wanting to make, you know, the world a better place, you might say, for crypto. So
basically, people are creating crypto portfolios now, just like we do 401k portfolios, stock portfolios, and you're saying just put the bulk of your portfolio in Bitcoin and then be smart with the remaining portion of the portfolio.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, like you say, Ripple's going to be, you know, you'll make money on it. It's just do some more research into XRP. I know Chico Crypto did some pretty ominous videos on XRP, and that's why there's more to it than I have time to explain tonight. But definitely, once you more look into the project too, the token, yeah, it's, I don't know. I don't trust the owners so much to be. It will make money, but it's, even though it's in top number 3, you just have to be careful with it. I mean, I'd rather invest my money into Ethereum, Bitcoin. You know, like Ripple to me, it's like, like stable coins like Tether and XRP, and those ones you want to stay away from. That's kind of like, that's not what crypto is meant to be, in my opinion. But Litecoin, you know, Ethereum, Bitcoin, you know, there's better projects out there, you might say. To me, I'd rather keep that. If you can't, to me, I'd rather keep my money in Bitcoin rather than invest too much of it in XRP. That makes sense.
What did Bitcoin get down to? About 3,000, 3,500 when it tanked?
In this last market, yeah, 3K is kind of pretty much the low there. So,
man, I'm so mad I didn't buy a bunch when it was at 3K. That's why I'm hoping it comes back down to 3K if it does.
Yeah, that's where people say, when people start saying, "Oh no, Bitcoin's dead." Oh man, that when they say there's blood in the streets, that's when you want to start buying up.
Just want to pull back.
Yeah, like seriously, I mean, if you have you know, couches you need to sell, something else, just whatever you can do to make extra cash. And that's why I'm not. That's why I'm not worried when I'm not you know, trading Bitcoin and it's consolidating. I go, sweet, I'm just saving up some more money. You know, I'm just, you know, accumulating. You know, that's pretty much what this is. It's accumulations going on. It's forming a bigger bull flag. I know this is going to go up eventually. So whether it hits the low again or goes up, you know, but definitely I'm waiting for, if it does get back down to 3K, I am not going to hesitate this time. I bought like a little bit down there at 3K, but once this really shot up here, I was so bummed. I was happy it shot up, but I regret not buying more, like you said. So.
All right, guys, any more questions?
Okay, one question. So when you say you buy Bitcoin when it's around 3,000, where do you go to buy it at? I mean, do you just buy from your broker, or how do you go about buying Bitcoin?
I like using Cash App and Coinbase, Cash App, Coinbase, whichever one you for using. So maybe Coinbase.com, or if you have a friend who already has a Coinbase account, what they can do is they can send you a referral link if you wanted to. So you can say, hey, you know, so and so, send me your referral link, because not only if you spend like $100, they give you $10 in free Bitcoin, but your friend who referred you gets $10 in free Bitcoin. So if you wanted to do that way to get more Bitcoin for each other, you could do that. Or you can just go ahead and create your account here. And there's also Cash App too. I think Cash App only does Bitcoin right now.
Yeah,
but
it only does Bitcoin, and it's a $10,000 a week limit. And when you withdraw, you can only withdraw like $2,000 a day. And that's for federal regulation reasons to prevent money laundering. Yeah.
So for me personally, I use Cash App more often than I use Coinbase. So unless I need to buy like a Litecoin or Ethereum, I might use Coinbase. But it's Cash App's gonna be super easy, and it's a lot faster in my opinion. And I think I did the calculations when I was buying the same amount of money. Like say if you buy like $100 worth of Bitcoin on Coinbase, I got a little bit more on Cash App than I did with Coinbase with all their fees. So just something I want to throw out there. So
and Cash App is faster. You get your money faster.
Yeah. Yeah, Cash App is definitely something to look into too. I mean, I like them both. Like it's good to have Coinbase so we can buy the coins and you have the you know, things you can't get on Cash App. But for as far as everyday transactions, Cash App's super easy. So like I said, if you just need to transfer Bitcoin, you know, everywhere, you can use your phone. You can really scan your QR codes, and it just makes it super easy and simple. And it kind of, to me, Cash App's a good onboarding platform because it's super easy. People use Cash App to transfer cash around it from your bank account anyways. And if Bitcoin makes a good move, like it dips down, like if Bitcoin dips down to 3K again, I'm gonna go sweet. Pull up my Cash App, buy some Bitcoin at 3K, and then can pull it directly from my bank account, and then that's that. So it's a nice little tool to use.
Hey,
Yeah,
Gabe.
because I had a coworker, and I was like, hey, he asked me about it because he saw I was a Forex trader last year, and I was like, I had him to get Cash App. He bought Bitcoin. He threw in a couple $1,000s, but he made like $2,000 over the weekend. And I was like, now close it out. He's like, for real? I'm like, yeah, close it out. And then it dropped. So he's like, how'd you know that? I'm like, because I trade market structure. Because he wasn't a trader or anything. He was just asking me about investing in Bitcoin. So I'm like, just buy some on your Cash App. I said, when I tell you to close it out, close it out. And he made like $2,000.
Oh yeah. Is that Jamie that asked me about Cardano?
Yeah.
Okay, so Jamie, this is what's so cool about this. That's why my brother made this book, because literally you go on Amazon and other places, there's not really anything that really tells you, where to buy it, how do you transfer it around, and and do that. That's why I'm gonna I'll DM Gigi later with that information so she can disseminate that out to you guys, or talk about it. But it's really cool, because then literally anybody who doesn't know anything about cryptos, they can take the book, and even when there's no expert around them to help them, they can go to the Coinbase, and it shows them how to transfer their monies and get the right addresses right, so that way you're not messing that up, because that's something that Cash App's doing a good job to make it nice and easy and simple, but it is still the Wild West, you might say, for cryptos, because it's still new. So it is easy to lose your money if you get a letter wrong on one of the addresses. So once your money is gone, it's gone. So that's what's cool about Bitcoin, is everything's done and it's on the blockchain. But once things are transferred, but things like Ripple, when you have something that's centralized that you can send your money, and then all of a sudden something's wrong, they can immediately withdraw that. That's nice to fix a mistake. But to me, something that has the power to automatically withdraw something also has the power to take your money away in some sense. And that's why it's one of the reasons why I don't like Ripple, because of that reason. But yeah, it's just something that, it's cool. I'll make sure to give Gigi the information about the book and all that too. And he actually goes through and does videos explaining everything. But yeah, a newbie can open that up and know how to do everything without having someone who's an expert, you might say, know how to do it themselves. And it's so it can be, your grandma could do it, you could do it, your 8-year-old kid could do it. So it's it would be nice and simple and easy. It's like a giant picture book.
Somebody was asking a question and I cut them off. You know how women are, but whoever was asking your question, go ahead.
Yeah. So Gabe, how can someone who is new to this trading of cryptocurrency partner with you?
Okay. So how is someone who's new to the cryptocurrency space do that?
I think like when Terrell and other people come on, they drop like a Telegram and all that. He doesn't have all that set up. He's a loner.
Okay. I can be doing that soon. If you can personally DM me until we get that group set up. I'm sure I talked to my brother about that. But yeah. So
definitely when y'all get that set up, y'all come back on.
It's really nice, because that way it can help you guys out, and that'd be awesome for us too. Because we want to help people to make sure you're not losing your money doing this, because it is. I've gotten my addresses. Well, I got my addresses right before transferring like Stellar and Ripple, but there's certain things they call like a tag, and if you don't put that tag on there when you're transferring that, boom, you can lose that. So it's something that having the right education on there is going to be important. So I'll definitely let you guys know and Gigi know when we have that done. So it's going to be pretty cool.
Yeah, so we'll definitely have to set up another session to have you guys on here and talk about the book and everything and help everybody get set up.
Yeah, and in fact, he himself might be able to come on there, and he's super knowledgeable in there. I mean, I kind of do like all the trading end of things, but as far as the he knows more of the technicals and stuff and all that. So yeah, it'd be pretty cool. So, I mean, if you guys, like I said, going down this rabbit hole, Gigi's already down there, but once you go down there, it's just going to get better. It's pretty cool. It's pretty neat technology. So,
All right, any more questions?
No, not at the moment.
all right, cool. Yeah. Thanks for having me on. I know it was a lot of information to go through. I'm sure I missed a whole bunch of stuff, and sorry if it was kind of sporadic.
Hey, you didn't learn this stuff overnight, so there's no way you can drop all that. I mean, this is a lot of information to intake.
It was really good. I
Yeah.
can tell everyone was taking notes.
So yeah, it's
Learned so much. Thank you so much. This was awesome. I was so focused.
awesome. Yeah.
All
So
right,
if you
guys.
guys,
That was great. That was
Yeah,
just
we normally.
excellent.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I
was just gonna
thanking
say,
you
yeah,
guys. That was very
appreciate it.
good. Thank you.
Yeah, I was saying we usually hang on and chart and do some stuff afterwards, but we've been going like 2.5 hours. I don't want to hold everybody. And going from this straight into simple market structures like going in reverse.
Gigi,
Yeah.
you could go ahead and
yeah, but I guess I'll just finish with, yeah, you guys just like Bitcoin, just simple zones, trend lines, you know, like just keep it simple, keep it easy, you know, doesn't need to be, you know, crazy. So,
Looks like Leah raised her hand. Leah, you can unmute yourself and ask a question.
Yes, Gabe, I guess I was trying to figure out your full name or Facebook or Instagram, how we can just kind of link up with you and kind of keep up with what you're putting out there.
yeah, I'm on Telegram more than I am anything else. That's probably the easiest way. So, I did have Instagram, but I didn't really use it that much. I mean, I was talking to my friend Raphael sometimes on there, but we usually just communicate via Telegram. So if you have my Telegram, yeah, you can just DM me or where's my yeah, it's basically just Telegram's probably the easiest.
Okay, and is that in the chat? Has that been posted in the chat, your Telegram link, or just by your name? I can
It's just
find
about my
you.
name.
Okay, all right, thank you. Awesome.
Yeah, I'll be
Yeah,
trying
I
to,
think you said you and your brother are setting something up, and so when y'all get that, we can disseminate it.
oh yeah, it's gonna be awesome. So yeah, he's got the book done. He's got online videos for the book. If you guys didn't know, like, if you guys someone who likes to watch videos and see everything done for you, like it's going through everything. And then we'll have all the Telegram stuff and all that, and websites. He's got a website I think he's almost done with too. He's got to make a couple changes. So we'll make sure everything's done right and we're not missing
Hey.
anything or having.
ForexNChill's gonna hook you up because somebody told me they hit 1,000 subscribers thanks to coming on ForexNChill. So when you guys get ready
That's
to
awesome. I
go
appreciate
live,
it.
we can promote you guys.
Appreciate it. Thank you, Gigi. Yeah, it's gonna be cool. And and this is gonna be good though because there's nothing else like this out there. So it's gonna be not only easy to get help with things, but to make it pretty cool. So we're excited. We're so close. Especially I'm almost kind of happy that Bitcoin hasn't taken off too much yet. So that way we can get more people involved in this space. But this will be a good time. It's good timing. No more questions.
All right, guys. Y'all can unmute and ask questions, or we can tell him thank you and call it a night. Anybody else going once, twice?
yeah. So Gibbs, thanks again for the information. Gigi, if you want, you could continue.
Anybody else?
Thanks, Gabe, for the information.
Thank
Really
you, Gabe,
appreciate
again.
it. Had a wonderful time.
Thank you, Gabe.
Awesome.
Pretty awesome.
Appreciate it.
Does
Thank
anybody
you.
know? Does anybody know what made Bitcoin jump like another 2,000 points today? Like it was at 8,600 maybe like 3 hours ago. It jumped over 10,000. It's crazy.
Wow.
Of country FOMO.
market structure. Like seriously, it was making a flag.
China did that. So imagine if this is just China talking about Bitcoin and blockchain. So imagine if the United States starts talking more. This thing's really gonna fly. So I call it country FOMO because whenever countries start talking about getting on the blockchain and stuff too, I mean, Bitcoin's gonna pump some more maybe. Yeah.
So y'all, this is where the video will be. Grant takes his time out on the weekends and edits the videos and uploads it. So if you're subscribed, you'll get a notification. If not, come back tomorrow night, and it's just Trade Forex with Guinevere, or you can just type in ForexNChill, and it'll have, you know, with Gabe Johns covering Bitcoin or cryptocurrency, however fancy. Grant marks it up for us tomorrow. So we definitely thank Gabe. Everybody give him a virtual round of applause. I myself learned a lot tonight. I really did.
Thank you, Gabe.
I won't even lie and say that I know all this stuff about crypto because I haven't studied it like him. I spend so much time studying currencies and teaching market structure that I haven't had the time to go knee deep in crypto, but I know it's a very profitable avenue for trading and investing. And so I wanted to give you guys something different tonight. And just look, we got something even deeper coming. Him and his brother coming back and bringing us more knowledge about this. So let's just consider this part 1 to be continued.
Awesome. Thank you guys. Thanks again for having me on.
Thank you, Gabe.
Thanks, Gabe.
Continue.
Thank you.
Thank you, Gigi.
Thank you guys for always jumping on. We truly
Thank you,
appreciate you.
Gigi.
Thank you, Grant.
Thank you, Grant.
Thank
Thank
you
you,
so much,
Grant.
That's the real MVP. I keep telling y'all.
Right,
He's
I'm
the
telling y'all, those
MVP.
notes he drops us from after the
Yes.
listening sessions. Eric, he's going to get back with us on everything for the book, and I'm going to give away a copy. I'm going to buy a copy and give it away. We'll pull from the names whoever comments on his video on YouTube. So he's going to get with me and Grant and make sure that we have everything you guys need to follow up with the book and to join his group that he's going to start. So we will definitely keep y'all posted. All right, we'll make sure y'all don't miss anything.
Thanks, Gigi. Appreciate you all. Thanks, Grant.
All right, everybody. Love you guys. Have a blessed night.
Oh, I have one more question, Gigi. I know you mentioned lastly, something about the harmonic scanner. You're gonna do that next week or something? Or...
I can cover it real quick. We don't have to put it on this video, but let's see.
Oh, no. I don't want to talk about it now. I was just thinking you had mentioned you were going to teach everybody, the new people, how to do that so we can.
Yeah, we have a video already, like in our private group. Like we got a guy using it, having 3 and 4 figure days. A lot of people having 3 and 4 figure days using the scanner. And we can cover that with the team. So.
Okay. Next. I'm tired. Yeah.
Yeah, 12:30 a.m.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. Have a blessed one.
Bye-bye.